Hi, I'm Leonie Lockwood, and welcome to part 5 of the Yin Yoga for Stress Release series. This practice focuses on harmonizing any sense of fear that we may be carrying. Let's start with sitting quietly, grounding the body, and just observing for a moment how we're feeling as we begin our practice. When you're ready, come up into a standing position and just hang forward. So we're letting the spine fall out of the hips, and you may feel this also quite strongly along your hamstrings. If that's the case, you can take your legs a little bit wider or bend the knees, or even come up and just rest your elbows on the knees. Similarly, if you have disc problems and it feels quite strong in the lumbar spine for you, you might want to still stress this area a little, but just alleviate some if it feels like an overstress for you by placing your elbows on your knees. And perhaps over time, just letting yourself fall forward a little. And then we'll slowly come down into a squatting position. If your heels don't touch the ground like mine, you can turn your feet out or perhaps put a blanket or a cushion under the heels to help bring the floor to you so you can rest comfortably in this squat. And this is great for the lumbar spine. And I find it feels like a real opening, and we have such thick bands of fascia across this lumbar area and the lower back area. So really nice to be in this squat and open up that area. And to hold our positions, we can just count the breath. Inhale 1, exhale 1, inhale 2, exhale 2, and so on. That just helps steady the mind a little, gives it something to do, particularly if we're finding staying in the longer holds a little bit difficult. As your yin practice progresses, you'll find that you will be able to stay longer and longer in your poses. So usually 3 to 5 minutes is ample time. And experienced practitioners may want to explore a little bit more, but unless your yin practice is regular, at least 3 to 4 times a week over a 6-month period or more, just stick with 3 to 5 minutes. We're going to come out of the squat and just lean back on your hands for a moment, and then extend your right leg, bring your left leg into the groin, and just fold yourself forward. So we want to feel this along the back of the body. So the whole back of the body, you may experience this in the spine and also in the hamstrings. And if your hamstrings are feeling very tight, you can experiment with sitting up a little bit higher on a cushion or a blanket, or even bending the knee and perhaps sliding a blanket under the knee just to alleviate some of the pressure on the hamstring. If it feels like it's too strong, then that should also bring this a little bit more into the spinal area. And then just coming back to that count of the breath to help you stay in position. Inhale 1. Exhale 1. Inhale 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. And so on. Just soft and relaxed with the breath. No pressure, no forcing. Just letting it ebb and flow. And just returning to your breath each time you notice that your mind has drifted away. Slowly cultivating meditation techniques just to focus the mind, turn down some of its wandering. Roll out of your position, so just stack from the bottom of the spine, lower back, the mid back, and then finally lift the head up. Have a couple of breaths in center, and then change your legs over, extending the left leg, right leg comes into the groin, and then folding yourself forward. So Marianne Williamson, who's quite a famous self-help writer, has written that our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And it is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. And as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And I think that's a beautiful sentiment. In the times when I have been caught in fear, embedded in my darkness and unable to see a way clear and felt restrained and held back. Just by taking some small steps to make change has allowed the people around me to change alongside me. I set an example, and perhaps that helps them with their fear. And I would say that most of us, as we travel through life, will constantly bump up against fears, whether it's in our workplace or in our relationships, perhaps a sporting activity that we're trying for the first time, perhaps even the fear of coming to your first yoga class. So it's just little steps to make these changes. Come out of the position, and then if you've got anything under your bottom, just move it to the side, come onto your back, and bring the knees towards the chest and just roll the legs over to the left side. Just letting your upper body rest on the floor. If your legs are not comfortably touching the ground and you feel like you're straining and using a lot of muscle contraction to keep those legs up, slide something under the knees or the feet just to give those legs a little support. And help relax the muscles in the legs, in the torso. And come back to that counting, just cultivating this focus little by little, small steps. Soft and easy with the breath. Inhale 1, exhale 1. Inhale 2, exhale 2, and so on. Letting the body completely relax. Letting go of the grip on any of your muscles. Let's come out of the posture and just roll your knees back to center. Have a couple of breaths in center and square off that pelvis before rolling over to the other side. Doesn't really matter where you place your arms. You might have a bit of an additional stress along the side of the body if you raise your arms over your head, letting them rest on the floor. You might like to take them out to the side and feel that a bit more through the front of the chest, the top part of the chest, under the shoulder. So in the Chinese medicine tradition, fear is associated with the kidney meridian when the kidney meridian is in disharmony. And we want to maintain our kidney health because in this tradition, the kidney stimulates production of white blood cells to help with our immunity, and also red blood cells to help carry oxygen to all parts of the body. So the health of the kidney plays a very important role in the health of all parts of the body, and also especially the bones, where these white and red blood cells are produced in the bone marrow. So we get quite deep into the muscles and ligaments and organs as we lie here in our twist, coming deeper into the core of the body, into the darker spaces, down to the bones of the spine. You might notice as we exit these poses, When we've done a lot of work with the spine, there's quite a flush and flow of energy. And that is the chi moving through that body as we unblock it from the stagnations, usually around the joint sites. So resting gently as you come out with your feet wide and your knees together, it just helps reduce any tension in the lower back area. When you're ready, just roll to the side and come to a comfortable sitting practice and just sit quietly, observing your breath, observing the feelings moving in your body, the heat, coolness, movement of energy, and the breath. And thank you for practicing today. And remember, you can practice any of these videos in any order.